Greetings horse lovers, Epona Girl here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I trim the hooves of River. So what I'd like to show you today is not just trimming River's feet, but also training him to accept hoof trimming. So he had a really good start with his breeder. He was well handled and halter broke, and at weaning age he had probably had his feet trimmed at least once. So lifting his feet hasn't been a huge problem. But what I'm going to show you here is the methods that I use to teach him to lift his feet and stand quietly for training. So let's get started. Now I trimmed his front feet a few days prior to filming this. So what I'm doing here is just lifting his feet and picking them. Now you can see that he's kind of curious and looking at me and wanting to grab at my clothes, and I'm just moving out of the way. I don't want to encourage that behavior. What I'm doing here is waiting for him to relax and then putting the foot down, and that's basically my whole logic. I'm training him that the way to get your foot back is to relax, not to struggle. So you'll see that progress throughout this video. Now he's good about standing tight, but he does like to move around a little bit. Here we go again with him trying to grab the clothes, and I just move out of the way. Now some folks might think that I should slap him or yank on the rope, but if I do that, he's going to jerk his head up in the air, and I'm going to set up a bad habit. So I just want it to be no fun to be grabbing my clothes. He can just stand there quietly. He's being good. I've picked both front feet, no problem. Now the back feet are a little harder, as you'll see here in a moment. I have not trimmed these feet yet. So you can see he kind of takes a wider stance. He's a little bit worried about keeping his balance. He's trying to get that foot back. And oops, he does. I wish I hadn't dropped it, but I'm showing this video largely uncut so you can see all the things that happened and how I corrected it. So what I just did there was I lifted it again, and as soon as he relaxed, I put it down. Because they learn from the release, not the pressure. Good. There we go again. He is a little fussy. As soon as he relaxes, I put the foot down. Kind of funny, I didn't see what his face was doing here till I watched the video, biting on his rope. So again, lifted the foot, put it down. You do this as many times as you have to until they get comfortable with it. See, less of a fuss that time. He's standing a little more square. You'll see as the video progresses that he figures out that standing squarely makes it easier for himself to balance. But it takes him a minute. And this can be a challenge with younger horses because they are growing. So in another couple months, when I do this again, he may be awkward all over again. So here we go. Perfect. You can see it up close there. He relaxes, foot down. Same thing. I'm kind of bumping him to get him to put the weight on the other foot. Foot down. Good boy. He starts moving forward, loses his balance. Same thing. He just crashed into the fence that I have the camera tied to. Now I'm working on the other foot. Get it picked. He's a little annoyed, biting the fence there, biting the rope, looking for something to do, but he stood still. Good boy. We're making some progress. So now I'm going to actually start doing some trimming. He's seen the hoof stand before. He's not afraid of it. So that's not a thing that's going to bother him. He knows it's there. Again, he lost his balance. Wait for the relaxation. Put it down. Let's try that again. All right, get it on the hoof stand. Good boy. And I noticed when I watch these videos, which is why it's super helpful to film yourself, I see that every time he was standing quietly, he was standing squarely, as you can see here in the video. So it's super tempting to want to do everything once you got the foot up there, but you don't want to do that. I just do like a little bit and then put it down again. You don't want to wait for him to struggle and make a mistake. You want to reward while it's going well. Basically, you want to quit while you're ahead. So now I'm going to lift the other foot. Actually, I think that's the same foot. I'm losing track of the feet. He's just moving around. He's just figuring this out. He's not sure. All right, let's finish the nipping. You can see he's kind of wanting to walk away. And he's off balance here, so any move and he's about to tip over. Oops. And there it is. He backs up. I drop the hoof nippers. Now, I've edited this video for brevity, but you should know that at no time did I slap him or yell at him, because that will just make this a negative experience, and it'll be nothing but trouble trying to trim his feet after that. So if things happen like that, you just start over again, reset, and away you go. And you'll see by the end of the video that we pretty well got it licked. So we'll try it again and again. There we go. You see right there when he stands square, he gets it. And he's going to figure that out. And you see here, he even took his weight off of that foot. That's pretty cool. He's kind of getting it. Although he then loses his balance anyway. He's like, all right, what are we doing here? So trimming the other hind foot. Same thing, just don't keep it up there too long and don't wait till you have a problem. All right, good boy. That was perfect. Right there, he just squared himself up. Did you see that? His little ears are swiveling. He sees me back there. He's comfortable. This is just what I want. Standing quietly, getting it done.
Really good.
Nice. You got to remember, he's 6 months old, so he's the equivalent of a child. I do want him to learn, and I do want him to mind me, but I have to remind myself he's not going to be terribly patient. He's going to get distracted, and doing things in small chunks is important, which is why, as I said, he was started by the breeder, so this wasn't totally something new to him. He'd had his feet handled before, but I took it slow. I did just handling and picking at first, and then I only trimmed the front feet one day, and then I trimmed the back feet another day. Here I am rasping. It's super important when they're growing to keep their feet trimmed and even. So more frequent and shorter trimmings are ideal. You don't want their feet to get overgrown. If they get imbalances at this age, it can cause problems for the rest of their life. Good boy. That's Maggie in the background. I had to put her in the stall. When I try to film with these guys, it's like a comedy show. They're following me around, biting my equipment, knocking stuff over. And I tied the camera to the post so that it wouldn't fall over on the tripod. And Maggie started untying it, so I had to put her in the stall. But she's pretty mad because there's nothing to eat in there. So don't worry, she got a snack as soon as we were done with the video. So So now we're rasping. This is just perfect. He's just standing quietly, squared up, letting me do what I need to do. So I'm not going to keep him in this position for too long. And as soon as I finish with the trimming, I just let him go. I don't try to do a lot of things at the same time. Good boy. Thank you for watching. I invite you to subscribe to my channel to see more videos about working with River and Maggie and all of our adventures together with hoof trimming, clicker training, and other natural horse care topics. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are your experiences with hoof trimming? What are your thoughts on this video? Do you see something that I don't? It can be very interesting to watch yourself do something like that. Thank you so much for watching. Epona Girl signing off.